to the way it is. Headlines tonight. Stephen Byers, dangerous to flyers.
Daily Mail slams, kilos and grams.
Joe Moore, no more.
War crimes trials, Slobbo's denial.
Radio 1, bad luck as Ali G says mother.
Richard. The UK government has been forced to bail out the part-privatised air traffic control service to the tune of £30 million.
This comes as a further embarrassment to Transport Secretary lame duck Stephen Byers. Can he stay in his job? Conservative Transport spokesman Jeremy Hobbs is with me. Mr. Hobbs, should Byers resign?
Well, Richard, quite frankly, Stephen Byers has come to the end of the line. He's misread all the signals. He's on the wrong track, and frankly, he should be shunted into the sidings before the whole country crashes into the buffers.
Very good. But given that we're talking about air traffic control now, your train has...
Yeah, okay, well, Stephen Byers has come to the end of the plane journey. For me, he's on the wrong plane, and he should be put into that place where the planes go when they're not being
I can
used.
feel the government toppling as we speak. Thank you, Mr. Hobbs.
Aerodrome! That's it, the aerodrome!
Thank you, Mr. Hobbs. The messy infighting over the leaked email from Transport Department Communications Uber-Lieutenant Martin Sixsmith damning congenital bad news barrier Joe Moore has already claimed both of their pathetic jobs.
Moorgate.
Sorry?
I just thought we could call it Moorgate, you know, like the tube station. It's actually very witty.
Oh, yes. Woodward and Bernstein will be looking to their laurels.
I'm not writing a musical, Richard.
Good grief. So, what does Moorgate...
My idea.
Tell us about the Blair administration. Is the government top-heavy with special advisors? To answer that question, we're joined by Special Press Communications Special Advisor to the Press and Communications Office, Tom Mossy.
Yes. All we wanted was to respect, in keeping with the mood of the nation, the sombre importance of Princess Margaret's funeral.
No, you didn't. You wanted to use that event to cover up news that was unflattering to the government.
That's nonsense. I'm terribly sorry. I seem to have spilt my coffee.
It's all over the desk.
Oh, quick, Richard, mop it up.
Rail restructuring is a complete chaos.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
No. Oh, dear, now I've spilt your coffee.
For Pete's sake,
Oh, here, use these tissues, Richard, quickly.
Well, yes, I'm trying.
Before it reaches the computer.
Oh, perfect.
The part-privatised air traffic control is facing bankruptcy.
You definitely said something that time.
Richard, you are mistaken. The government is not in the habit of using other events to hide, bury or disguise bad luck or damaging news.
If I didn't have an electrical fire on my hands, Mossy,
I think you've got some in your trousers, Richard. Want a hanky?
I'll pin you down, Mossy, just see if I don't.
Traffic news now, and a survey from the European Road Assessment Programme has branded the A889 the worst road in Britain.
NHS targets are not being met.
Are you still here?
I've got a hell of a lot to get through here.
Just go away. So, what makes the A889 so dangerous? Our motoring correspondent, Martin Hovis.
Oh, not him. He's so oily.
Hi, Richard.
So, how's Britain's most dangerous road, Martin?
Well, here we go. The A889 is a bitch of a road. And like a bitch, she has to be handled roughly. When she misbehaves, you take a stick to her. A gear stick. But to say she's the most dangerous road in Britain is pansy talk. Only a gay lord would get involved in an RTA on this stretch of road. Oh, my God!
Martin, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm not a gay lord. Just some lunatic coming on like a cheater on 8 down the wrong side. I'm just going to get out and have a word with a gimp. What the trolley do you think you're doing?
Me, you're not. It was my right of way.
Listen, mate. I'm from the BBC covering a very important story on the country's most dangerous road.
Oh, yeah, well, I happen to be ITN's traffic correspondent.
Oh, you're joking. I nearly had a prank with a bloke off Sky News up the road. Could have had my wing mirror off.
Oh, surprise, matey, you drive like a granny on a Sunday.
Right, get your jacket off. That chummy is fighting. Hang on, look out. Who's this loony there?
Oh, great. Channel 5, that's all we need. Oh, typical. There's a lady driver. Hello, darling.
Hang on, that's no lady. That's Kirsty Young. That's Tornit.
She's got a long-handled screwdriver, Robin.
what a fascinating report.
Well, you don't understand cars, Lolly. It's a man thing.
It's time for yet another first on The Way It Is as we exclusively reveal the latest Army recruitment commercial.
You're in charge of an elite platoon of Marines. It's hot, it's sandy. You're surrounded by locals wearing straw hats. You've invaded Spain by mistake. What do? If you're thinking, buy a stuffed donkey and cop off with a holiday rep, we don't want to hear from you. But if you're thinking, forget the rep and shag the donkey, you could be the man for us. The Army. It's like Club 1830, but with guns.
Gurning unlovable Mockney tosspot Jamie Oliver is to lose his BBC contract. Bosses are unhappy with his association with the well-known supermarket brand.
I wonder how many Sainsbury's reward card points you need to actually have him shot.
It's 12,000, I checked. Nice to be back in the old studio, though, isn't it, Lolly?
I suppose so.
You're looking very healthy, very bonny, quite jolly.
Are you saying I'm fat?
Yes.
I'm pregnant, Richard.
Oh, well. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very happy.
When's it due?
Tuesday, the 17th of September at 11 a.m. I booked into the Portland.
Very efficient. And the father is?
None of your business.
Fair enough. Just being polite. Do you know if it's a boy or a girl?
Well, it was a man, obviously.
The father, the baby.
Too early to tell. Anyway, enough about me. What have you been doing since the last series?
Well, I've actually been doing a bit of presenting on News 23.
You mean News 24?
No, News 23. It's an independent cable channel. It's like News 24, but they show an old episode of Fantasy Island for an hour at midnight.
Sounds great.
Still, it's good to be back here again, Lolly. Radio, I think, has always been my true love.
Still not getting much sex then, Richard?
No. Let's move on. It was grab-a-granny time at the weekend as glamorous pensioner and mother of Phil, Joan Collins, married her fifth husband, Torontophile gold digger Percy Gibson. With Joan weighing in at a venerable 68, Percy, 36, is 32 years her junior.
Ooh, 36? Just think, Richard, when he's 50, she'll be...
Married to someone else even younger, I expect. And that annoying jingle, if you haven't had your synapses fused by it already, is there for the BBC's new digital television channel aimed at the under-5s.
It's part of the corporation's ongoing digital expansion, both on television and radio.
Ah, yes, digital radio. I've had one of those for years.
Aren't they frightfully expensive?
No, I picked mine up for about a £5 12 years ago.
A digital radio?
Well, more accurately, a digital alarm clock and radio. It's got glow-in-the-dark numbers and a snooze function.
Oh, well, then you'll be pleased to hear that the BBC is planning a wide range of new radio stations to be broadcast digitally, including Network X for urban youth culture and Network Z, which aims to make speech radio cool to listen to.
Cool. I assume that this Network Z is aimed witlessly at some sort of youth niche.
That's right, Richard, and guess what?
I dread to think.
The Way It Is going to be part of it all, with our new spin-off, Kids with a Z news programme. They've been making test broadcasts all week, and we can actually opt out to that studio right now. Cool.
Hiya, news fans. I'm Darren Darren.
And I'm Popsy Bing.
And you're tuned to the Where It's At. Headlines tonight, Bo Selector.
Ali G keeps it real. Tony B does Mittal deal.
Last night at the Brits, I was coked off me.
Darren!
I was only going to say tits.
Don't forget, later on in the show, it'll be time for the Where It's At News Make, where we'll be showing you how to make your very own Spin Doctor scandal. You'll need a toilet roll, some double-sided sticky tape, a leaked email, and a dead member of the royal family. Fizzy!
Yeah, remember to ask the permission of the minister who runs your department, right? Or a grown-up.
But first, here's Mickey, the news robot.
You all right, Mickey?
Hello, Darren. Hello, Popsy.
All right, what's in the news today, Mickey?
The EU has imposed sanctions on President Mugabe's regime in Zimbabwe.
I don't understand.
Yeah, have you got anything a bit less boring, Mickey?
Joan Collins got married.
Yeah, granny-tastic. Oh, can you imagine it? She's probably like having old sex, like your mums and dads, eh, kids?
Or you and your girlfriend, Darren.
Yeah, don't be silly, Popsy. I'm a male children's presenter. I don't have a girlfriend, do I?
What? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So, kids, who knows anything about the air traffic control sell-off crisis?
Yeah, well, not me, that's for sure. But here's S Club 7 with Reach for the Stars. Stars, you see, because they're in the sky, because that's topical, innit?
I thought that was well wicked, Bo.
Now, give over, Pauline. We're 37 years old.
Anne Widdecombe has had her pussy put to sleep. Richard.
Nothing. I was going to say nothing.
Last night at 8:02 in the evening, the time was 20:02 on the 20th of the 2nd, 2002. It looks more impressive written down.
Hardly, though. Joining me is chronologist Dr. Matthew Stamp. Dr. Stamp, what is the big deal?
Well, this kind of chronological palindrome will never happen again. 2002 on 2002 in 2002. It's marvellous.
Really? And what about 9:12 on the night of the 21st of December, 2112? 2112 on 2112 in 2112.
Oh, yes.
Which was the date that you could turn upside down?
Oh, now that was an interesting one.
No, it wasn't. Stamp, were you bullied at school?
Terribly.
Go away.
Now, also in the studio is the renowned psychic and telekineticist Yuri Michelle Geller, who believes last night's palindromic time and date has a deeper significance. Mr. Michelle Geller, welcome.
Angels be with you, Lolly.
Wow, thanks. Now, at 8:02 last night, what were you doing?
I was projecting an image with my mind, my special psychic mind, which, because of the magical nature of the date, could be picked up by creatures all over the universe.
Well, I participated in your experiment, and I think I picked up the image that you were projecting.
What was the image you picked up from me?
Well, it was a sort of car on top of a bendy tree with zigzags all round it.
Prepare to be amazed, Lolly. Let me just get something out of my bag under the desk, completely out of your eye line. And if I can... Yes, there, I found the image that I was projecting. This is it.
Oh my God! It's a sort of a car on top of a bendy tree with zigzags all round it.
Angels be with you, Lolly.
That is amazing.
You drew that just now.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Angels away from you, Richard.
Bothered. Look, here's a picture of an image I was projecting specifically to you just now.
No, that's just disgusting.
That's you, that is. Ever since that memo from news undertaker Joe Moore, the way it is has been curious to know other stories have been buried by huge world events. So we sent Lolly into the archives. Waste of time that was, but eventually I found a story we could actually use. Back in the 40s, government spin doctors were masters at releasing information at the time they would cause the least damage. Listen to this extract from The Way It Is in 1945. This is London. Germany has unconditionally surrendered to Allied forces. Adolf Hitler is dead. We have won the war. In other news, Churchill ate a child. But back to our main story. The victory of the free world over the fascists.
I can't believe that, Richard.
Well, I'm sure Winnie had his reasons. And now we're pleased to have secured toff botherer Nigel Kempton for our new society diary, a load of old posh.
I hear that Henry, Duke of Alloway, 48th in line to the throne, fourth son of the late Earl Quirrellbank of North Devonshire and the Quires. That's by his second wife, Tunisia Dogwurzel, formerly squired by the Queen Mother's second favourite trainer, Giles de Haverstock, lately. And now engaged to frozen squid tycoon George Hellivalotopopolopodopoulos, is to appear in court after killing a man. close charm and buggery partner Angus Frisbee McLean Bartle there, who is still nursing a bruised ego after being rejected by John West Salmon, tells me the Duke, an excellent shot, surprised the man who was looking at his Bentley and pointing, though friends of the dead man deny this detail. We're all hoping the judge went to Harrow. Angus laughs, and here's to that. Chin chin.
Thank you, Nigel. Nice to have a bit of class on the programme for once.
The Foreign Secretary, Jack Straw.
Another useful reminder from Lolly there. We do hope Tony Blair is listening. Assuming he's in the country, of course.
Now, in the wake of continuing events in Afghanistan...
Hello, Hillary, it's Richard.
In the wake of continuing...
No, not Dimbleby, Richard. Richard Barthol... Oh, never mind,
Who
sorry.
are you talking to, Richard?
I'm sorry, my agent, Hillary Bedstein. Living legend, just. She got Dimbleby the Churchill gig in 65.
Are you after a new job?
I'm after a decent package.
Join the club.
For the way it is, Lolly. I've been speaking to a few of the lads down at the BBC Club gym, and it seems I'm seriously under-endowed or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I've always been surprised how much they pay me.
Really? They pay you?
Masses. But I'm leaving soon.
Masses? You see, this is just the sort of thing Lab Bedstein should be finding out for me.
I said I'm leaving, Richard, to have my baby.
Yes, well, my biological clock is ticking too.
What's that, your pacemaker?
My biological career clock, Lolly. I don't have long to manoeuvre. If you know who went tomorrow, I doubt I get a look in at the funeral. Be lucky to get flower watch duty.
Oh, no, Charlie Dimmock's doing that. I heard you were down for interviewing cabbies. Now, in the wake of continuing events in Afghanistan, our very own MC, Monty Casino, is live on our new digital satellite link from Kabul. Monty, can you hear me? Monty, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I spoke over you.
Yeah,
Go
yes.
ahead,
I can hear you now, Lolly.
It's okay now, carry
No,
on.
I can hear you. You just spoke over me.
Yes, I understand. There's a delay with the digital
We're having a
satellite.
little trouble with the digital satellite delay there.
Yes, go ahead, Monty.
Do you want me to go ahead now? I'm standing here amidst the... Sorry, Lolly, did you say something?
I said we're ready for your...
Shall I go ahead now, Lolly?
Yes, go ahead,
I'm
please.
standing by whenever you're ready.
Can you hear me, Monty?
I can hear you, Lolly.
Good. We'd like
Just
your
waiting for your
report.
cue.
Good. Let's go live via our new digital
This is Monte
satellite...
Casino reporting... Sorry, did you say something, Lolly?
Monty?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Monty, I don't...
Yes, Lolly?
Monty, I'm speaking as
Yeah,
clearly
you're
as
coming
I...
through loud and clear now, Lolly.
Good. Monty, you're in the capital Kabul, where I understand fighting is continuing and Afghans are being driven from the city, despite the fact that the peacekeeping force are firmly in place. We'd like to know more. Over to you, Monty.
What did you say?
I said we'd like to know more
Lolly?
about what's happening.
Lolly, what...
Monte Casino there, almost reporting from Kabul. They're calling them the metric martyrs, but how do the market traders themselves feel?
In the studio with us is Terry Tucker, a fruit and veg trader who is anti-metric.
Yeah, that's right, Treacle. Yeah, the metric system just caused confusion for all my customers, isn't it?
In what way?
Well, before this metric stuff, when I used to sell bananas on the market, it was... Get it, banana, can't go, lay banana, try my paper, I love you, banana. You see? Everyone knew what I was talking about.
Really?
Yeah. But now we've been forced to go metric. It's gone to... Get it, banana, can't go, lay banana, lay banana. Nobody's got a clue what I'm on about.
Right, thank you very much, Terry.
Sorry?
Thank you very much, Terry.
Sorry?
Thank you very much, Scissor.
Oh, don't mention it, Treacle.
Like rickets and TB, London Fashion Week is back with us once again. The great and the good of London's fashion community gathered to launch the capital's most...
Sorry, Richard, I think this is my story.
It's in my pile, Lolly, therefore I will read it.
Yes, but Richard, come on. London Fashion Week. It's hardly your thing.
I'll have you know, Lolly, that I am no stranger to fashion.
Well, your fashion couldn't get any stranger, certainly.
And how do you mean?
Well, what's that?
That's a tank top bearing the face of Bertrand Russell. I'm told it's quite the thing.
Oh, shut up and give me my story back.
Don't grab, that's rude.
Shh. London Fashion Week is back with us once again. The great and the good of London's fashion community gathered to launch the capital's most glittering week of fashion. Is that it? That's the whole story?
I snipped it. I thought it was a bit too much and what is essentially the definition of pointlessness.
But Richard, London Fashion Week, it's exciting. It's packed with newsworthiness.
Such as?
The latest styles, where fashion is heading after September the 11th, Mario Testino taking photos, Paul Smith arguing with Alexander McQueen. Yes, it is a bit pointless, isn't it? Apparently the World Cup is on this summer. Unfortunately, we can't ignore it, so here's our resident soccer Socrates, Ben Mosley.
Turning Japanese there, which is, of course, a song about masturbation, rather than any actual Occidental/Oriental transmogrification process. Anyway, with me to discuss England's chances in Japan is former Dutch international premiership manager and sexual magician, it says here, Ronald Flabbers. Ronald, your thoughts, briefly?
Yeah, for sure. You take the ball, you put it in the goal, you do the hokey-cokey, and you turn around. That's what it's all about, for sure.
Right. So, Ronald, you great big Dutchman, who do you see, Sven-Goran Eriksson, the mighty Swede there, who do you see him picking in the old England squad?
Well, probably some footballers from England,
Yeah. If I could just get you to be a little bit more specific. Darius Vassell, maybe? What about tiny Kevin Phillips?
Stanley Matthews.
Right, yeah, he's a bit dead, actually. Pick someone else, mate.
Pele.
Okay, you're actually being quite unhelpful now. Pressing on, a lot of England fans won't be travelling to Japan because of the massive expense involved.
Yeah.
Will you be going yourself there, Ronald?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Japan has many great things.
Indeed it has. The fantastic stadia, the beautiful mountains.
Yeah, and do you know the geisha?
Yeah, that's that sushi restaurant in Guildford, is it? I had the squits quite badly there. I do like fish, but I like it cooked. You know what I mean? Call me old-fashioned.
No. The Japanese ladies, you know, they do the thing with the...
Good grief, do they?
Yeah. And then
I'm feeling quite sick now. Lolly, can I go back to local radio, please? I don't like it here anymore.
I like the water sports, too.
Yeah, Lolly!
With sanctions imposed and the EU observers gone, Zimbabwe seems less likely than ever to enjoy a fair election in March. But can the deeply unpopular Mugabe bully his way out of defeat?
Our reporter James Gravelax has been living undercover in Harare for the last 3 years, following a ban on BBC journalists. He's on the line now. James, what cover are you using?
Well, I was using Factor 55, Richard, but I've now run completely out. I wish I could say it was no skin off my nose, but unfortunately that is not the case. More skin has come off my nose in the last week than I would have guessed possible. It resembles an overworked Indian rubber. It's no wonder that the white man has always given Zimbabwe such a wide berth, preferring instead to stay in Rhodesia.
Yes, letting that pass, James. What is the mood like as we approach the general election?
Election fever has gripped the people of Zimbabwe like a dog, Richard, but a dog with only one jaw, or mandible. That mandible is Robert Mugabe, whose simple direct appeal to vote for him or, as he says, else, is so popular as to be virtually unopposed. Not that Mugabe's people are taking victory for granted, though. They're campaigning hard, even visiting many of the white farmsteads to canvass for votes. Or, as they have it in the argot of these people, murder the bastards. Mugabe himself, something of an African Alan Bennett, really, with his large, benign spectacles spectacles and his love of biscuits is often seen gently coaxing his followers with threats of death, a mildly psychotic twinkle in his kindly little eyes. But where the other mandible, the mandible of opposition, is, I don't know. I can only assume that so deeply is Mugabe loved in this country that they would no sooner think of organising an effective opposition to him than the British would to Tony Blair. And yet, as another spontaneous demonstration of loyalty to Mugabe is whipped up by the minimum of armed militia.
Yes, James, you do realise that Mugabe is widely regarded as a loathsome dictator who would be out on his ear following any sort of free and fair election.
A loathsome dictator?
Yes.
What, cheeky Bobby Mugabe? An actual loathsome dictator here in Harare?
Yes.
Oh, Christ. Right, well, let's see. Scenes of terrible devastation here, Richard. Unfeasibly over-decorated generals and everything. It's really bad.
Thank you, James.
Hooray! It's time now for another chance to buy one of our ever-popular topical news plates.
And here's this week's mail order muck.
Once again, The Way It Is has teamed up with one of the UK's leading mentally ill plate artists to bring you the Steelgate Steel Plate.
Die-cast in the finest Romanian steel, this delightfully expensive plate is a gift to treasure, and treasure again, and then treasure a bit more.
The central image on this big round metal thing depicts an unemployed Welsh steelworker and his destitute family scrabbling desperately in the dirt, while a grinning Tony Blair dangles a small piece of mutton tantalizingly out of reach.
And in the background, you can glimpse controversial steel magnate Lakshmi Mittal bathing in a big tub of your money while lighting a cigar with a small kitten.
Lovely. And lastly, in the top corner is a beautiful image of the Diana, the Princess of the Wales, gazing down at the dirty Welsh people and stifling a laugh.
This plate can be yours for 6 easy payments of your entire housing benefit.
Please do remember that your house and your kneecaps may be at risk if you don't keep up repayments. The plate is also highly toxic.
Toxic, yes.
Yes.
And you can order that fantastic news plate from our usual address.
Or alternatively, remove your own liver with some pliers. I'm Richard.
And I'm Lolly Swain.
And that was The Way It Is.